Hi, hello, welcome into my reselling channel, Flippin' Hippos. I'm Star. Today's Monday, so it's time for a highlight reel of our sales. I sold on 5 of my 7 platforms last week, and technically I'm on 8 platforms. If you saw the tutorial last week that I put out, I showed that ThreadUp is now offering direct listing, and I did a tutorial putting my first listing up over there. I haven't added any more listings since. I need to work ThreadUp into my current schedule and routines, which I'm going to be talking about later this week, as a matter of fact, schedules and routines. And whenever you add something new, you have to be able to find a way to work it in. I haven't made ThreadUp a priority yet to do that. I never say I don't have time. I don't believe in that expression. Something's either a priority or it isn't. And if it's not, that's fine. But you do have time for things that matter. ThreadUp is not a priority to me right now. It will be in the next coming weeks. But right now I'm working on the platforms that I'm currently really active on. And I didn't have any sales on Depop or whatnot. I had just a couple on Vinted, Mercari, Etsy, and Poshmark. They're really slow right now. eBay's trucking along, slower than normal, but still okay. The other ones, it's summer. I'm just going to chalk it up to summer slowdown. Maybe the week I took off before the 4th is finally catching up to me. I had eBay listings scheduled to come out each day while I was off. The other platforms didn't have any activity that whole week. But it's been 2 weeks and I've been actively listing in those 2 weeks. So that should have revitalized them or resuscitated them. It is summer. So I'll take the sales that I can get, and I will do what I always advise you guys to do. Utilize the time during the summer to take extra photos and make extra listings, get a good solid bank built, and list extra so that when the summer slowdown is over and people are shopping, I'll have even more items listed and there for them to peruse. That all said, let's go ahead and share my screen and look at what we sold. I pulled out the highlights from each platform. I didn't pull out every single sale because some are just not exciting or they don't really have a teachable moment attached to them. I do pull out everything that's exciting, and I do pull out items that I want to talk to you about because this is a teaching channel, and while we celebrate my sales and the highlight reels, I'm also here to help others learn. So these are my sales on Vinted. You may have already seen some of these last week. It's doing fine. I'm using it for a clear out, to clearance out old items. And I'm happy that things from 2021 and 2022 are finally moving and making me a little bit of money. This was an exciting sale on Mercari. I like Chico's. I'm never going to not like Chico's, and I'm never going to not source Chico's. It is one of my favorite brands to source. I also like the costume jewelry. If you do find Chico's, it is important to know they use vanity sizes, and you need to have the standard American size as well in your listing. Chico's has charts on their website, or you can just quickly Google Chico size 3, and the AI at the top of Google will now tell you what it is equivalent to. The way I list Chico's, I put the US standard size in the title. And then in the description, I put both Chico size and standard. Now, some sellers like to put the Chico size in the title because people who like Chico's and wear Chico's and shop for Chico's know their vanity sizes and know what they wear and are looking for that. I feel like there's more chance of selling if I put size 16 here and the Chico size here. I think there's more non-Chico's fans, so to speak, that could happen upon my listing and buy it. But that's a personal preference. I recommend having both in your description and just one in your title. And as far as the drop-down box on most platforms, I just put the standard US size. And so this sold for $24. It is a nice two-piece cardigan and the tank top. And this, I do remember getting this at the Goodwill. It was 99 cents. Whenever I buy anything that's two pieces on 99-cent day, they come together for the 99 cents, which is nice. Build-A-Bear Wolf Lodge. His name is Brinley. He kind of looks like the Duffy Bears in his face a little bit, but his foot says Brinley Bear. His left foot and his right foot says Build-A-Bear. And he sold for $20. I pulled out one of my Etsy sales. Mostly what I sell on Etsy every week, week in and week out, is my costume jewelry. Once in a while, one of my vintage pieces of clothing or something else will sell, and I always pull those up to talk about with you. But this week it was all jewelry, and this is just an example piece I wanted to show you. I like to show you that costume jewelry can sell for really great prices. It doesn't have to be sold as if it was in a garage sale. I think I mention that every week, but I'm always going to mention it because it's important to learn. Sometimes new folks are watching my videos, and sometimes people who've been watching need something repeated to get it through their head. But this is a carved wooden stretchy bracelet for $24. And you can see I used words like tribal pattern, wooden. Costume jewelry can sell for more than just a couple bucks, folks. Here's a Batman badge. This is a retractable ID holder. It's retractable. Any of us that have ever worked in a place where you had to have a badge, like I used to work in a nursing home. I never had a cool Batman one like this, but most of us had the little clip-on thing with our badge, and you pull it out to scan it to get into the door or whatever. I got this at the church sale for $1. So it sold for $16. That's great. Got these at Goodwill for 99 cents. They are No boundaries. This is a Walmart brand. I chose these based on style. They are immensely flared. Look at these. They come way in at the knee, and this leg opening comes way out. The leg opening was 22 inches, which is 11 inches across, and then you double it. I did absolutely buy these for the style. They are so cute. Plaid, like 70s bell bottoms. And you can see that I did not put the brand in the title. I put it down where it was required, but not in the title. I don't need to advertise it. This is Walmart. I want to sell it for its style, the same reason I chose it. So plaid flared pants, juniors, bell bottom, red, black, stretchy lounge PJs. $17. That's the equivalent to around $24 on eBay. Vintage purple clip-on earrings. Again, costume jewelry. I wanted to show these because I have kind of heard in some circles that folks think clip-on earrings don't sell. They do. People still wear clip-on earrings, especially if they're vintage. And these ones are really pretty. Of course, I'm partial. I love purple. These sold for $20 plus $6.24 shipping, so like right at $26 all in. This is a dress that came out of that 250-pound bulk buy I did earlier this year. New to me brand. It's called Line 2, but it's a really neat dress with really great scenic prints on it. It's perfect for the summer. And it sold for $25 plus $7 shipping, so like right around $32. I would buy this brand again if I found it. Look at the cute elephant on this dress. Isn't he cute? Yeah, I would definitely buy. I would buy this brand again, and I would buy any dress in any brand that had this kind of a print on it. I actually am kind of pivoting more towards style buys than brands. I've probably always kind of been that way, but I've been leaning into it very heavily this past year and not worrying so much about brands, and just if something is cute or if it has a really cool print, if it's a plus size, things like that. And now that I've said that out loud, I've probably always been that way, but yeah, I'm leaning into it a lot more. I have to be able to source stuff sustainably and consistently. And that's what I can find is really cute items, not so much the luxury or the Bolo brands. This brand is called Flax. I would pick this brand up again, speaking of just buying for brand. This is a plain olive green tank top that sold for like 24 bucks. My math is terrible, but if you add the shipping in and everything, $17.49 plus $6.24, that's right around 24 bucks for a plain tank top. So that's a good brand. Look for that. This is a plus size 3XL Disney Mickey Mouse Pride tank top. I thought this would have sold in June, but it sold in July. And I have another one in a different size that I still have listed. The plus size sold first, which is not a surprise. I think the other one's a medium or just an XL. Maybe it's just an XL. But this is a 3XL Pride tank top. Really cute rainbow Mickey Mouse. Sold for $20 plus $7 shipping. Official Disney. This one came out of a bulk buy as well, I believe. And then American Eagle bikini bottom sold for $15 plus $6 shipping. So that's like right at $21. These are new without tags. This is part of the Whatnot buys. I went to 2 different shows and bought a ton of swimsuits when my friend Susie had 10 for 10 on her auctions. I wanted to show this because I'm selling a ton of swimsuits and they go from anywhere from like $10 and $12 for lower end brands all the way up to $50 and $60 for the high end brands. But American Eagle is like a brand that most people would think should be priced a lot lower. And no, American Eagle is still a good brand. So is Old Navy. And that's funny that that comes up. I'm going to come over here and have a quick story time before I let you go. So I went to a private live sale with some of my girlfriends from 10th and Main. One of my friends that I've known in the reselling business for about 3 years. I met her at FlipCon. She's getting out of reselling, and so she's liquidating all of her inventory. You guys know one of my favorite ways to source is to buy out other resellers. So she held a private sale for us, and everything that was Old Navy that was $1 or $2 that she was letting go, I was buying. And my friends were like, no, we don't touch Old Navy. And this was this past Saturday. And then the next day at the church sale Karen and I go to, they had if you watched my haul video Friday, they had a stuffa bag of sweaters and coats. Everything that was Old Navy, Karen was handing to me as she was finding it because she doesn't touch Old Navy. I like it. I love American Eagle, Old Navy, and Gap. They're like my trifecta bread and butters, but they don't sell for everyone. And that's what I find funny about reselling is there are brands that I cannot give away that my friends can sell consistently. And there's brands that resellers I know can't give away and I can sell consistently. I think it has a lot to do with the algorithms and how much you have listed. Like if you have 2 pairs of Old Navy jeans, you probably aren't going to sell them as often as I do with like 100 or 200 listed. Anyway, that's my little anecdotal tale about Old Navy and how, because no one else likes it, I get to have it all, which is good for me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything you saw in this video or reselling in general, let me know down below. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It helps me feed my hungry hippos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.